What's up, everybody? You're back with The Chosen Con, and today I have my friend, Mr. Jagdev, popping on the studio.
How you guys doing?
Yeah, Mr. Jagdev. So today what we're talking about is alcohol. I know that's a pretty, I guess, it's a massive subject, right? Very broad. But we're going to be talking about just how alcohol is prevalent in our society right now, right? You're seeing a lot of young kids. You're in the wedding industry, so we'll build up to that.
Yeah.
But what are you seeing right now at kids in high school?
I mean, like, to start off with, people in high school, they drink because it's
Why did you
the
drink
cool
when you were in
thing.
high school?
It was the cool thing to do, man.
Yeah.
It made you look cool because you had a story and a party to talk about.
Uh-huh.
Because nobody wanted to hear about, I read this book last night.
You read a book? For God's
Yeah,
sakes.
like,
man.
what?
Get this guy off the show, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they want to hear about the party where you did a keg stand or something.
Yeah.
And then it builds up to high school college, and it becomes a part of college, like going to frat parties or,
If you're not drunk on a weekend, what are you doing? That's the way it is in university.
People ask, they're like, you're not social, you're not cool.
Yeah.
I think part of the good thing about alcohol that I will admit is socially, being social. You get to build liquid courage.
Yeah.
So that definitely helps people kind of break out of that comfort zone. But there's other ways to break out of the comfort zone.
Yeah.
Like for myself, that's the reason I drank a lot, was because it helped me break out of the comfort zone. But now that I'm out of that comfort zone, I would never be able to sit in front of this camera and talk with you like this openly and whatnot.
Yeah.
But now that I've gone past that, I'm almost a month sober now. I've completely quit drinking.
And so why did you what led you to that?
It was just a series of bad experiences.
Yeah.
And one experience that hurt someone that I wish I never did. I wish I never hurt.
Because we were talking about, even in the podcast when we dive into it, we're talking just about how you can't control your emotions and how the alcohol controls you.
It does.
Right? And then you end up hurting people. So me and Jack, that we were saying that basically when you do start with alcohol, what we're seeing right now is that all of these people, they're hurting themselves, but they don't even know why they're drinking. You were saying that if you know why you're drinking, if you're mindful of it, all right. But if you're someone that's just constantly drinking and you're becoming a slave to it, that's not good at all, man. And that's something like...
You're letting it take over your life.
Mm-hmm.
You're letting it control you. People say, I can handle my liquor. You can't if you're getting excessively angry or you're extremely emotional.
Yeah.
Like you're sad, you're depressed, you're lonely, you're even being excessively happy. That's not you controlling your alcohol.
Yeah.
It's not, like, people look at it as a bad thing, but when you try to, get on a dance floor and make a fool of yourself, then... you're having a good time and it's fun and whatnot, but you're not controlling your alcohol. You're letting it control you. You're letting it control your emotions and expand on those emotions.
Man. It's interesting because I went to a couple of different weddings, Punjabi weddings, where there was alcohol all over the place. And what I was finding was that basically at the beginning of the night, everything is great. Everyone's having a good time, which as it should be, right? It's a celebration. But over time, what was happening was that as the party would progress and as it started coming to a close, people started, the high went down.
Happy place starts ending, right?
Yeah,
the music stops, people start going home.
Yeah, people start getting in fights, people start being more and more belligerent. And it's not, and you know them, they're your people, they're people you love. So one thing we also talked about on top of that was that it compounds. Let's say me and you, a lot of our friends say, I'm living for today, YOLO, you only live once, all this stuff. But at the end of the day, if you're drinking every day, or if you're drinking a substantial amount, what basically happens is that you're trying to get away from that present moment.
You're trying to get away from something.
Yeah, you're trying to get away from today, you're trying to get away from whatever it may be. And the thing about the compound effect is that it will always add up. So I have friends right now, while we're having this conversation, I have friends right now that their dads or their family members have passed away due to alcohol addiction.
Yeah.
Right? It's huge in the community right now.
It's a big thing in our community right now.
But no one really talks about it.
Or they drank too much and they've lost their house or they lost their family. Mm-hmm. And I'll admit, like, I was on a verge of it made bad relations in my family. My parents weren't happy with it. My significant other wasn't happy with it.
Yeah.
My cousins and my sister and everybody else, my friends, they all saw me deteriorating.
They witnessed it.
They saw it taking control of me.
But you didn't see it.
No, I didn't. Until I saw what it did to someone else.
Yeah, until you hurt somebody other than yourself.
And at that point, it may be too late. Like one of the stories that Abu talked about in the podcast, it it really hurt the other person. Mm-hmm. It doesn't do anything to you necessarily, maybe mentally, but the people that person's connected to, it hurts them, their family.
Yeah, the story, was it the story I was talking about where basically there was the two brothers in the car?
Brothers, yeah.
So back when I was in high school, there was these two brothers, and this was out in Richmond, I believe, and there was these two brothers that were in a car and they were sober and their friend was driving and he was drunk. And you know how it is, man. That guy is always like, I gotta drive. This is my car, whatever. And you're like, no, man. Like,
you want to be in control of it.
Exactly. And so these two brothers, one was sitting in the passenger side and one was sitting behind him. And long story short, this kid, he ended up going out, he ended up swerving and hitting the car against a tree, I believe.
Yeah.
And these two brothers ended up passing away the day before Mother's Day. And I remember as a high school kid, so as I got older, I started seeing a lot of my friends drinking and driving, and I'm like, yo, you can't do that, man. Because you're not just hurting yourself, you might end up hitting someone else. And a lot of these weddings, when people are leaving, they're drinking and driving home.
Yeah.
Right? And it's scary because it's like you're hurting. Look, everyone has got a big heart. Everyone cares, man. Everyone does. But what happens is when you're drinking alcohol, the negatives come
let
up.
those take over you. Like, I know the last experience I had, I let alcohol be my aggression, and I let it make me think that I'm powerful. I'm above all else. There's no one else above me.
Uh-huh.
And then,
I'm Jagdev, hear me roar.
Exactly. Like, I'm at the top of the world. I'm the king of the jungle.
Yeah.
And that's what it made you feel like, the liquid courage again.
Uh-huh.
So that's just, you gotta know the difference. You gotta know the time. You gotta know when it's time to give it up, when it's time to control it, when it's time to calm down. You're not the king of the jungle. There's other people around you. There's no such thing as a king of the jungle. We're all human.
Yeah.
We're all, connected one way or another. We need respect. We need to treat people how we want to be treated in the day.
Oh, I agree with you, man. And the way I even want to end off this video is just talking about, look, there's a big group in our generation that you work hard, man. You work real hard. I have friends that they blood, sweat, and tears all week. But then at the end of the day, the cool thing to do is, you know what? I'm going to spend my money and go to the club. Yep. And I'm going to spend $800 or $900 on a
celebrating
bottle.
Being broke, man.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's literally just celebrating being broke.
I know millionaires that don't celebrate with a drink.
Right?
And that do drink, but they don't do it because it's not the time. What are you celebrating? Maybe you made $1 million. I want to celebrate, like, the right moment.
Yeah, like you had a kid or you had a wedding. We're not
even that.
Right, it's just you have one drink, which is what you're saying.
Exactly.
But people, they go overboard, and then anything in excess is bad.
Exactly.
Chocolate milk too, man. I have to give that one hurt.
Man, I'm trying to go vegan, man. That's tough.
I gotta say one thing. Oh yeah, good luck to you.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, that I tried, man. I couldn't do it.
It's hard.
But I don't know if there's no vegan alcohol out there for a lot of these people, man.
Yeah, so, I don't think there is.
There's no such thing. So I was gonna say, basically, there's a story that there's hope, guys. There's hope out there.
There is.
For my friends that do drink a lot, that I was at this event. It's a UBC Bhangra formal. So I'm at this event and everyone is inebriated. Everyone's having a good time. Everyone's really intoxicated and drunk, dancing around. And there's this young guy, Arjun. This guy's, I took Punjabi cinema class with him. Dope kid, man. Dope. Yeah. And so at this event, he's basically having the time of his life. Like, he just dancing around everywhere. He's drenched in sweat. I was like, I want to be on what this guy is on. What is he? Did this guy eat some shrooms or what the hell is he on? I don't know what's going on, right? And basically, the night's ending off, and I leave early, and I'm seeing him walking out as well. And he basically clicks the remote for his car, and he's about to, or the key for his car, sorry, and he's about to get in, and I'm like, yo. My conscience is like, yo, you can't let him drive. You cannot let this guy go home. Like, he's not going to make it home. He's belligerent. This guy's like, you mean, he's gone. And so I go up to him, still drenched in sweat, and I'm like, yo, dude, you can't drive, man. Like, yo, I'm sorry, man, but being an older guy, like, I care about you. I can't let you drive. You know what he said to me? He's like, are you crazy? He's like, I'm completely sober. And I was like, what? I was like, you sober? I was like, you're lying to me, man.
It's high off life, man.
I was like, where's Ashton Kutcher? I must be getting punked, man. And that's what it was. Like you just said, he was high off life. And so I'm telling you guys, like, that day really opened my mind that you don't need this stuff, right? If you're surrounded by good people, positive vibes, and if you know who you are, you're not going to really need this crutch, right? So just check out the podcast. If you want, reach out to Jagdev, find out or ask him why he actually chose to quit.
I'd love to, if people are struggling with the same thing, I have no problem with talking about it.
Yeah, but,
I
yo,
have no problem with talking deeper about what I've been through. If
grab a
people
coffee with this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or buy a cell phone off him, or do
buy a cell phone off me.
photography. There we
Hit
go.
me up for photography, whatever you guys need, I got you. We own a banquet hall down in Seattle too. You guys need your wedding.
That's it. He's all
Hey,
set.
let me know. They call me the middleman.
And he likes it like that, man. So the middleman is in the building, and if you want to connect with him, we're gonna have all your stuff up, right?
Yep.
He's on Instagram, Jagdev Pabla. You work for Dreamfinity Studios,
Yep.
right? So thank you all again for tuning in. Realize you're not in it alone, right?
Yeah.
We're all there for you.
People there for you. People care about you.
We do. You mean straight up, and we mean that. So thank you again, my man. All right.
It was a pleasure, man.
Peace. Are we doing a staring contest? Subscribe. Check out the podcast. Stop looking at my ugly face.